How's it going, everyone? Today we got a story of a spoiled kid who floods and destroys his entire school. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. We're going to call the subscriber who submitted this one Gary. So anyways, in Gary's class, there's a kid who we're going to call the spoiled kid. And he was known as the spoiled kid because every single day, it seemed like, maybe not every day, but it felt like every single day, this kid would wear a new outfit. And this wasn't like, I don't know, very standard pair of like $20 pants, $5 t-shirt, maybe, I don't know, maybe nice shoes. Who knows? He was wearing like $1,000 worth of like drip every single day. He would have on like the newest hype beast sneakers. He would have like one of like every single color of like the Yeezy shoes that are like $500 each. Every single day he would have a new like designer Supreme brick type thing. He would have like a new shirt on every single day that was at least $100. And why was it $100? Well, it was $100 because he paid $100 for it. That's kind of how a lot of these brands go. And I used to fall for the hype. I never really bought anything that crazy, but I used to think that stuff was cool back in like middle school, early high school. So like I get it, but like bro was like literally a new $1,000 outfit every single day. And it's not like this guy was some boy genius who created some algorithm that was able to outtrade the market or something. Bro just had parents that, were trying to show affection for him, but didn't know how, but they had a lot of money. So they're like, oh, I think the best way to show affection is to just give this guy like unlimited, basically give him a credit card, unlimited spending. And then we will let him spend his way to our hearts. So every single day he would come in with like the newest, craziest, like expensive clothes or whatever. And this was still middle school. This was late middle school, like 7th, 8th grade. But this was still middle school. So this was like, he was known as like, oh my God, that drip is so crazy, bro. It's so drippy. Like it was those type of people. And like, I can't blame him, man. It's middle school. But anyways, it would be kind of okay if this kid did this. Like at the end of the day, you can dress how you want and like, whatever, man, I don't really care. The problem is, though, he wasn't always super cool about it. Like, he wasn't just, like, nonchalant. Like, if you got something crazy on and you're flexing, like, do what you want to do. But you don't have to, like, make fun of other people for not being able to flex as hard as you. And that is exactly what this spoiled kid did. And part of the reason why he garnered the reputation of the spoiled kid, because he was truly the spoiled kid. But anyways, right, so, one day, this all started one day when the spoiled kid was at lunch. And so was Gary, the subscriber who submitted the story. And you can submit stories to my Instagram or Twitter. Just follow me and then DM me your story. The links are in the description. Anyways, Gary was sitting at a lunch table with the spoiled kid. And the spoiled kid was like, he was like starting off the conversation talking about the new like drip that he had on today. And he was like, yeah, man, this Bape hoodie, it's like $350, bro. And these shoes, dude, like these are the really limited edition Yeezys. Like I copped these bad boys for like $1,000. And yeah, everyone was kind of looking at him like, okay, like that's cool, man. Congrats for all the accomplishments that you earned. Obviously, that's awesome. Nice. It was a little sarcastic, but you know how it was. And, he was like, yeah. And then the problem was, like, that was already pretty annoying. If you're going around telling people that, oh, you spent X amount of money on your clothes or, oh, whatever, right? Something along those lines. That's already pretty weird. Like, that's already kind of lame. However, it got a lot worse because the spoiled kid went on to look at, like, other people's outfits. And he's like, bro, like, did you even spend a band on those? And he was pointing to someone's like Hanes t-shirt. They're like, nah, dude, I got this for $10, but I got a pack of like 10 of these, dude. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And the spoiled kid's like, what? Like, bro, I couldn't be caught dead wearing that. And then you point to another person. He's like, are those ripped jeans even like designer ones? Are those Fear of God ripped jeans? And he's like, no, I actually bought these as normal jeans. They just ripped because I wear them a lot. He's like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine being like you guys ever. And that's when he turned around and pointed at Gary, the subscriber who submitted the story. And Gary's got on those New Balance shoes. And the thing is, New Balance shoes are comfortable. I don't personally have a pair, but like, fine, whatever. And, now like they're actually like kind of having a comeback. Like it's kind of like almost cool if you have them because they were so lame for so long. But they were kind of known as, old man shoes. And like, I kind of dress like an old man sometimes. It'd be like that. But yeah, Gary had a pair of New Balance shoes on. And this happened really when the whole like New Balance shoes or old man shoes wave was like really, really popular. And the spoiled kid is like, are those New Balance shoes? Are those at least the like Supreme X New Balance collaboration? I don't know, man. Supreme collabs with everyone, I guess. So sure, they probably had one of those. And he's like, no, these are just normal New Balance shoes. And after hearing that, the spoiled kid's like, oh my God, those are the worst. You guys need to take some fashion advice from me. And one of the kids is like, bro, like, we can't take fashion advice from you. Not that we wouldn't want to, but we literally just can't afford what you're wearing every day. Like, it's not up to us. Like, we don't get, like, unlimited spending on whatever we want. Like, you know, our parents will buy us some clothes occasionally, but if we want to buy something that, you know, is kind of out there, we have to, like, use our own money. And we're lucky to get, like, an allowance, if that. Like, and one of the kids was like, yeah, I work like, I mow lawns and babysit the entire summer, and I only have like $500 from the entire summer, which is still a pretty substantial amount. But when you compare it to the spoiled kid who routinely probably spends like $1,000 every single day on new stuff, which is ridiculous, but you just can't be dressing like the spoiled kid if you have a reasonable sum of money. You just need an unreasonable sum to be doing that. So anyways, right, you know, the spoiled kid doesn't understand. I think he just doesn't understand that not everyone has unlimited access to a credit card like he does. And he's like, well, you guys should still take my advice and stop dressing like losers. And he gets up and he leaves. So the kids at the table, including Gary, are like, bro, like, the kid was always kind of annoying, but this is like a whole new level of annoying. And everyone else kind of agreed, like, yeah, like, this kid is kind of going off the rails with this whole act he's been putting on lately. Like, this is a little much. This is a little much even for him. And the thing is, I guess one of the kids, like, at the lunch table, and no one really knows who this kid was, took it pretty personally. Maybe he even wasn't one of the ones that, like, the spoiled kid, like, I don't know, picked on necessarily, but one of the kids at the lunch table, this is what people think, ended up enacting their revenge, basically. So the spoiled kid, basically the pinnacle of his wasting money was, if you don't know, Supreme, which is it's a brand that like sells stuff for a lot of money. It used to be like a low-key like skater shop, and then it became very mainstream. They sold a brick for like $200. It is basically the pinnacle of like, lol, like, I'm gonna troll my parents and spend their money on something ridiculous. If you have one, dude, try and resell it. Get that money back. Put it in an S&P 500 index fund. I know you don't want to hear it. I know that's not cool, but trust me, it's right. Anyways, so the spoiled kid had a Supreme brick in his locker, and every couple weeks he'd remind everyone that he spent $200 on a brick, and that brick is sitting in his locker. And it was basically just like, it sat there just to say, haha, I can spend $200 on a rock, lol. So one of the kids ended up stealing the rug. And let me just say, even though this kid was a jerk, there's no justification from stealing something from someone else. Don't go around doing that. This is not an endorsement. I'm just telling the story. So anyways, you know, I think Gary and his friends were sitting at the lunch table again, and the spoiled kid the next day walks in, furious, and it's like, you, and he points to like all of them. Which one of you peasants stole my Supreme brick? It has been sitting in my locker every single day, and today I came in and my brick is gone. Just so you know, stealing is a federal offense, and I will take you to court unless you cough it up right now. And even if you do, don't expect me to be nice about it. And everyone kind of looked at each other. They're like, no, we didn't take that thing. Like, why would we want a brick? He's like, because it's worth $200 plus in a resale. I tell you guys every single day, you know how much it's worth. And in all fairness, they did know it was like an expensive brick. But like, Gary wasn't the one who took it. And after the spoiled kid left, they kind of like talked with each other, and no one coughed up or confessed to taking it. So maybe not even someone at the lunch table stole the Supreme brick, but someone did. And it's a pretty good guess to say someone at the lunch table stole the Supreme brick, because like, they were like probably one of the ones who like he was extra mean to, but he was probably a jerk to everyone. Real quick, comment brick down below if you made it this far into the video. I'm bringing back the secret word of the day. I'm just making them really quick. Anyways, So, the spoiled kid the next day comes around back to the lunch table and says, "You guys don't understand. I will be enacting my revenge unless the supreme brick is back in my locker by the end of today." And everyone at the lunch table kind of looks at him and is like, dude, I don't know. Like, I don't know about, like, bro, we don't know. We don't have it. I don't know how else to put it. That supreme brick, we don't want a brick that has a logo on it. Like, we do not care, dude. We do not care. And at this point, the spoiled kid is just so angry about it. He's just like, you don't understand who you're messing with. You don't understand. He said, and I'm going to say it once more. If the supreme brick is not back in my locker by the end of the day, you will all suffer the consequences. And they're like, cool. I hope whoever took it puts it back, I guess. And he's like, you guys will see. You will all suffer. And he like storms out, and they all kind of look around. And once again, Gary's like, hey, did anyone actually take it? Like, I know he sucks, but probably shouldn't steal. And they're like, yeah, no, why would I want a brick? Like, that's so stupid. And also, if someone found me with that brick, it would be obviously not mine, because why would I spend $200 on a brick? That's stupid. So they all agreed that none of them took it, even though Gary still thinks that one of them did, but he still doesn't know to this day. And the rest of the story, Gary was not personally there for, but, word got out pretty quickly. And I'm basically going to tell it as if Gary saw it. However, Gary learned about this from other people. So basically, the spoiled kid did not end up receiving the brick by the end of the day. So he decided to go home and try and enact revenge. Try and get a way to get back at everyone for stealing his brick, because that brick meant a lot to him and nobody knows. And so the spoiled kid goes back home, and he thinks, and he basically has a brainstorming session of just trying to figure out how to, like, get revenge. And that's when he figures it out. So basically, right, his parents have a lot of random stuff. And one thing that his parents have are fireworks. And once again, disclaimer, please, do not do this. Do not replicate this. It would be ridiculous if you did. For the love of God, do not do this. Anyways, he brings his fireworks to school. Once again, do not do this. I do not condone this. You're an idiot if you do this, and you deserve all the punishment that you'll get. Anyways, I'm just the storyteller. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just the messenger. Anyways, he brings his fireworks to school, and he has them in his backpack, and before school even starts, like a little bit before, he goes to the boys' bathroom, and he waits for everyone to leave. And that's when he gets like so it's like one of those, like, he like sets, like, there's a certain type of firework that, like, I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know if you guys saw that, like, Simpsons episode where Bart basically, like, floods the entire school by dropping some kind of explosive type thing in the toilets. The way that the spoiled kid did it was exactly like how it was done on The Simpsons. He saw that episode like weeks ago, and that's how he thought about it. So I don't know if these were, like, I don't even know if they were fireworks, but they were some kind of something that was like play explosives, like they were supposed to be for show. But the spoiled kid basically brought a bunch of them, shoved them all down the toilet system. Some of them went down the drains, and they basically went in, and then boom, they all exploded, did whatever they need to do. And what I'm trying to say is somehow the entire drainage system got so messed up that the system basically exploded. And, like, pipes, and this is where, go back to Gary's POV for a second. Gary's sitting in class, and he hears some, like, rumbling. It's almost as if, like, a bunch of water is flooding around, right? And he's like, what? Like, that's a really weird sound. And that's when Gary looks up at the wall. So Gary's sitting in class, and he looks up above him. And when, like, the stain of water, like, it gets, like, water stains, like, it gets, like, dark or whatever, like, gets damp. He sees the ceiling start to get damp in real time. Like, water starts to spread on the ceiling in real time and spreads really quickly. And Gary's like, and he raises his hand, and the teacher's like, yes, Gary? And Gary literally points to the ceiling, and he sees, like, water starting to spread all across the ceiling. And then at the very corner of the classroom, like, the ceiling starts to bend down because, like, water starts to collect at the very corner. And then boom, part of the ceiling bursts and water starts pouring down. And the teacher's like, oh, wow, guys. And then all of a sudden, boom, Fire alarm goes off. I think someone just pulled it to get everyone out of the building. People start rushing out, and as Gary's rushing out, he sees water spilling all across the place. Like, it is a disaster. So Gary's standing outside, and it is just like, as he was walking, basically, the entire school got flooded. The entire thing is just like water's pouring everywhere. The whole drainage system is a mess. And the spoiled kid would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for some kid who saw him do it. And the thing is, the spoiled kid has such a bad reputation that this kid's like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to tell on this kid. I literally do not care. So yeah, basically this kid had eyewitness account that it was the spoiled kid, and for that reason, they were able to kind of like search his belongings, and they saw wrappers, basically proof that he had some kind of like firework type thing or something. And also when they did an autopsy on the school, they saw that, you know, there were like whatever type thing that he put down the drain to make that happen. The spoiled kid had it in his backpack. There's a direct connection. And for that, I think the spoiled kid understandably was expelled from the school because bro tried to flood the entire school successfully. And yeah, from that point on, no one ever returned the Supreme Brick. And after that, like, it was like weeks. Like, they had to, after a couple weeks of like really weird like online school, this was before Zoom, so it was like Google Hangouts, and it was very strange. And they had a lot of time off too. They relocated to like another camp, or like a makeshift campus. So they like the school system like rented out a building or whatever. The classes were like not in a school building. It was very weird for the rest of that year. Thankfully, they only had like a month or two left, and they were able to go back to the original school like the next year after like months and months and months of renovation. And basically, it cost like the school system oh, sorry. Cost the school district like millions of dollars probably. And yeah, the kid was gone. He was expelled. Never saw him again. I think his parents decided to move districts just so that like they wouldn't be held accountable or whatever, or just try and get out of there. They probably had to do something or whatever. And they definitely had the money to help fund it. And yeah, to this point, to this day, apparently Gary has never seen the spoiled kid ever again. Moral of the story is, do not flood your school. I think that was obvious, but just in case it wasn't, yeah, that's the moral. Don't do that. Bye. Click on the video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it. Do it.